How's it going, Lost Ark? Sethphir here, and we are back with another video. Today we are going to do an auction house guide. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know on how to use the auction house, how to successfully search and price your items, which is going to be important because you most likely have items in your inventory and in your bank that are sitting there that are worth a lot of gold, and you may not just know how to sell them or how to figure out what they are worth. So we'll go ahead and break this video down into two sections. This is going to be part one, which is going to be talking about the auction house side that relates to gear, jewelry, ability stones, and things of that nature, also gems. And then the part two, which will be a follow-up video, will relate to the market side, which will be talking about honing stones, cosmetics and skins, engravings. It's a separate section, so they have two different things there. So I've been free to play on this game. I've made most of my gold through the auction house, and I've managed to get myself to 1400 gear score, item level, whatever you want to call it. I've cleared phase 3 Argos, and I've done all of this without spending a dime other than buying the original Founders Pack so that I could get access to the game a little bit earlier and check it out. So if you want to learn how to make gold on the auction house, it's actually quite simple. So what I usually do is I pull up my pet menu and I use the market from there. If you do not have the crystalline aura and the pet, you can just simply go to any town. Any town will have a market broker within the town, so you can go ahead and check it out through there if that's something you need to do. So when we go here, we're going to see a few things on the screen. Here is that auction house tab I've been talking about, which is the harder one of the two to use. And then there is the market tab, which contains all the honing stone materials, things like that. So the auction house is what we will be focusing on, and as you can see in the top, we have a few menus here. The first one is going to be search, which is going to show you items on the market in the perimeters that you are searching currently on the market. So this is going to be everything that's up for sale right now. You can buy it now. The market value is going to be items that have been sold recently that are within the perimeters that you are searching for. The interest list is something like you can set sort of items or skills that you might want, like sort of a wish list, and you can kind of sort and look at those things easy if you want to set that up. It's a little bit more advanced. And then we also have the registered section, which is something that is you're currently selling on the auction house. We have the bid details, which is anything you have a bid on currently. And then finally we have the sale history, which is just going to show you everything that your character has sold. And remember that listings on the auction house, both the auction house and the market, are per character. So each character is going to have a different sale history. Each character is going to have a set amount of limit of items it can put on the auction house as well. So as you can see in the past, I have sold items for 9,000 gold, 5,000 gold, couple hundred gold, all types of gold, right? And I sell them quite a lot. So I'm a little bit experienced on this. I've used it to pay all the gold that I needed all the way up to 1400 item level. So it's kind of paved the way for my character in terms of progression. And I'm assuming it will do so constantly as, you know, the game evolves and new content comes out, new items come out. So the best way to look at this in general is going to be the left side section here. We're going to break it down. There is a gear section, which is going to contain gear level or tier level 1 and 2 gear that's equipable. And then for tier 3, it's a little bit different. You're only going to see gear pieces that have skills on them, because in tier 3, we have skills on pieces, and we use the raid gear from Argos and from the abyssal dungeon in order to equip onto ourselves, and then we find skills on these pieces and we transfer them into that equipable gear. So that's going to be the slight difference between the tiers there, but the search functionality is pretty much going to be the same for all of that. So we'll go ahead and talk about that here in a bit. And then we have the ability stone, which is just the stone that you equipped. You all know what that is, the ability stone. It has engravings on it, and you can get negative engravings too. It just is kind of RNG, depends on what you get when you roll the dice cutting the stone. Then we have the accessories, which is your basic necklace, earring, and ring. And then finally we have gems, and gems are pretty cool. I'll teach you a little tip or trick. If you sort by time left on gems, sometimes you can snipe up some really cheap gems for a low amount of gold. Sometimes people set them for 1, they set them for like 10 gold or something like that, and if they expire in like 6 or 8 minutes, you can pick them up for really dirt cheap, which is quite nice. I've picked up several level 6 tier 3 gems before in the past for like 100 gold or 5 gold or something like that, so it's been quite beneficial to me, so I figured I would share that to you. So now that we've covered the categories, we'll talk about these little tabs, or these are going to be like your search perimeters. So you can search by tier. This will be important for ability stones as well as gear, depending on what tier you're in. You can sort by rarity, so all the way down to relic rarity. And then there is an item level range. I have not really used this one, so I usually ignore it for the most part. Then we have a search function, which is just going to be the name of an actual item. And then we have a search, which is just going to be the button to apply the search once you have the perimeter set. And then finally, we have the most important part that will make you a lot of money. It's going to be the advanced search. And as you can see here, there are a lot of categories. You can go from everything to the type of item, to the class it's supposed to be for, the item rank, the quality of the item, the skills on the item, and it's a lot to take in. But I'm going to show you a shortcut that's going to save you a lot of time and make you a lot of gold. So when you go to sell an item on the auction house here, we are just going to hit register, and we're going to put in, we'll go ahead and start with a gear piece, right? We'll start with this. So I know that this is a tier 3 gear piece with a desirable skill for paladins. The Holy Protection Quick Pace level 3 skill is desirable, and the other ones on them, not so much, but that's how tier 3 gear works, is you just take that one skill and you apply it onto your armor. So I'm going to go ahead and hit market value, and as you can see, there is nothing on the market. And this is going to be for a few reasons. The reasons mainly is that it's searching for an item with the exact name and the exact skills at the exact level. It's really being precise here, right? And if I go to search, the search tab, it's going to show me anything on the market currently. Remember, market value is something that's sold recently. Search is something that is currently on the market. I can see there's nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust these perimeters. When I go in here to advanced search, you can see that a lot of the information is already filled out for me. So I'm going to go ahead and click on all, as well as all for the second one, which means that I don't care what the other two skills are. I just care what this skill is right here, right? And so if I only care what that one skill is, I'll be able to search and find items that have that one skill. So I can now search for anything that is a sword that has that skill, and I can see here that there are a few that have the skill, but it doesn't have the skill level. So if I were to go in here and set a min value, like I could say the minimum value is level 2, the max value is level 3, it will show me anything with that perimeter. And if I want the minimum value to be level 3, I can also do that, and it will only show me skills that have the level 3 of that version. And then I can go over here to the search function to see if anything is currently on the auction house. So I'm going to get rid of these min and max values, and I'll go ahead and search, and I can see there's currently one on the auction house with a level 2 version of that skill for 1100 gold. So I know that an item with a level 3 version of the skill would sell for more right now. So I would probably price this item a little bit higher. Maybe I would make my own price at this point, right? Because it's a little bit harder to do. And so the thing about this is it's only searching for this name, this sword here, this sword type of item. So if I were to kind of just go in and mess with the categories a little bit, I could also search for a helm, because for some reason you can use these on anything. So then I could see if there was a helm that had this exact same thing, and I can see that there are a few helms, but they only got level 1 of the version of the skill. So I can just kind of go down the list and check these different categories out. And then there is like a gear all, which will kind of show you anything in general. So if you don't want to search by each individual piece, we can just see everything here. So this is going to be shoulder pads, all this stuff. It doesn't matter for tier 3. You just need to transfer the skill over. So I would just then go ahead and search by price, and then I can go high to, or low to high, so I can see that, you know, a low version of that is pretty good. And then this is where I want to go back in and check my perimeters, right? So I'm going to set this to a minimum level 3 because I have a level 3 version of that desirable skill. And now I can search here and see the real value. So again, market value, what is sold recently. these have sold recently for 200, 299, 800 gold. What is on the market currently for a level 3 version is the lowest is 875 gold. So I know that if I want to sell this item instantly, I could put it at or a little bit lower than this lowest cost here. But you need to make sure that you have the perimeters of the gear correct, right? So this same functionality is going to apply for ability stones. So we're going to go ahead and go to register, and we're going to look at an ability stone here. Let's just go with this one. It has keen blunt weapon. People tend to like this one as a DPS. So I'll just go ahead and search for it and hit market value. I can see that one with the exact 2 engravings has sold recently for 39 gold. And if I click to search, I can see if there's any on the market. There is, and there are quite a few. So this item would only go for about 25 gold. So that is just a general low ability stone. But if it were to have 2 good attributes on it, like grudge and spirit absorption, then it would be a lot more. And as you can see in the past, you know, I've sold some ability stones, like this one I sold for 2,000 because it happened to have raid captain and spirit absorption, and people wanted the 2 of those together. I sold this one with supercharge and ambush master for 2,900, and some of these are purple. It doesn't always have to be legendary. Sometimes you can sell stuff from tier 2 as well for quite a lot of money. It just really depends on if it's got the right skills and who's willing to pay the price for it, right? So that's how you're going to use the search function for the registered for that, and that's going to go the same for jewelry. Jewelry, I will say, is a little bit different because jewelry always has a class skill tied, or not always, but majority of the time, it has a class skill tied to the ring. So people that are looking for these type of items are going to be probably people from your class, but you can see this item right here is an example of one that has 2 abilities that are kind of neutral. None of these are a class ability. Broken Bone and Slight Focus are both regular abilities, so you can search for items like that. So if I want to put in this item, which is pretty decent here, I'm going to go ahead and put this one in. It's a swiftness, which I know is a desired trait by supports, and it has judgment and awakening, which are both good skills for paladins. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the market value on this, and I can see that no one has sold anything like this recently, and there's nothing on the market, and that might be because my thing's a little too specific. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the weaker engraving here, and I'm just going to go ahead and say let's get rid of the judgment engraving. I just want to look at things with awakening and swiftness, which are 2 generic good supporting skills, and then I will hit search once again, and then I can finally see the real details of it. I can see everything that's on the market currently because I'm in the search tab, and if I go to market value, I can see if anything has sold recently, and I can see that one sold recently for 70 gold, and there are a couple that are in various price ranges here. I could go ahead and sort that and get a little bit better example, so you can see right here how that pricing is going to go. So that should be exactly how you're going to use the gear side or the auction house side of everything. Part 2 of this video will be covering the market side, which will be talking about honing stones, but I hope this helps you sell your items because that's the most important part. So whenever you get something, if you think it's good, go ahead and put it into the put it into the register, hit that market value, and then you see this tab over here. Remember, go to search and you'll see if there's anything on the market house exactly like your item. And if it's not exactly like your item, try getting rid of some things. Like try getting rid of the lowest trait that you think is not worth that much to make it have any trait here plus the one good trait, and then try to research your item, and you will probably see some results, and that'll give you a good idea on how to price your item. So you can look at that and compare it to what you have and get a good idea on where to place that item at and what it should probably be selling for. Alright, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for your time and watching this video. I hope you found some tips and tricks that helped you. Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell down below. And also, I'm very curious, what have you sold on the auction house? What has been your biggest priced item that you have been able to sell? What was the stats on it? Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know all of those good things. And once again, we appreciate your time. We got Discord and social media in the description link down below if you want to follow us on that. And we will catch you in the next video.